We're going live, and it looks like we have audio. We are.
Are we live? Are we live right now?
I think so.
Oh, really?
Yep. We're in. Hi, everybody.
How's it going, everyone? I hope you're doing well. It's been a bit of a hiatus here for Breath of the Fall. That's okay. We are live. We are here, and we're down one because of accursed Wi-Fi issues. But hopefully, Kiana, whatever you're doing out there, hope you're living your best life. But it's been a 2-week break, and that's fine. But I'll do a recap here in just a bit. But before that, we're going to get around to cast and crew. But before that, I want to talk to you about a certain sponsor, and that is Tabletop Loot. Tabletop Loot will get you dice, it'll get you mugs, it'll get you t-shirts. And if you use WebDM15, you're going to get 15% off of all of those items. And so go ahead and check them out. And Bob's your uncle. Wait, we have another sponsor officially, right?
We do next week.
Okay, sorry. Never mind. Disregard the previous statement.
It's a really good one, though.
Yeah, it's a really good one. I can't wait till next week and when we can talk about it openly. So, that being said, let's get around to cast and crew, see how everybody's doing, and then we'll get to some gaming. I'm gonna start with Grant, since Grant is living it up right now.
I am. Hi, everybody. My name is Grant Ellis. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games and the producer here on WebDM's Twitch channel. I am currently at Gen Con in Indianapolis, where I am producing the show from. And I'm super excited for tonight's episode, where I will return as Baz LeFontaine, the heroic speaker who explores dark places. Back to you, Prue.
Thank you, sir. And I'm totes jelly for your proximity and experience that is going to be happening in the next few days. Next up, Emma, how are you this evening?
I am fantastic, Pruitt, because I was named one of Patrick Stewart's top fans on Facebook, and it's fucking meaningless, but it made my whole day. Top 1,000 or so out of 1.3 million.
Yeah, right there.
And nobody will invite me on their Star Trek game. So
I'm telling you, we just need to do a Star Trek game.
yes, we fucking do.
Well, I was working on an overlay.
But I'm great. I'm good. I'm happy. My boy has requested a pocket knife for his 3rd birthday.
For his 3rd, maybe 4th.
Yeah, no, he wants it for his 3rd birthday. That's gonna be interesting.
Well, good luck with that. Next up, Trey, how are you doing, sir?
Hey man, what is going on? Yeah, 2 weeks is a very long time to take a break, so I'm over here trying my hardest to shake this real life, jump into my other life. It's way more fascinating. You know why it's fascinating? Because I play Taiwu the Risen, a hideous nano that employs magnetism, man. You know, he's one of them weird, cracked out, I don't know, the kid that you probably want to throw rocks at and mud at when you were a kid. If you were a bully, I'm not endorsing bullies, but if you were, this was the kid you probably aimed for. So, man, can we get started so I can shake this real life, please? It just doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it most certainly doesn't. So let's do a quick recap, and then we will get back to the action. The party currently descending down into the fall. The fall, what is that? Well, where they live is basically a vertical shaft that they are descending down the inner wall of. Where they are from is at the top, and it appears to be clinging to some kind of grid or filter in this immense structure, about 17 kilometers in diameter. And a recent shift in the wind always blows from below, from the fall up, and brings scrap and other things that allow the citizens of Aru to survive. But one day, the wind blew down and took with it many people. Rescue efforts sprung into action. Some of the party, in fact, had to be rescued, but now they need to find out what's going on down there. And so the party has been sent to discover what is going on. And last time we played, they in their travels and exploration, they found a panel, and were able to use this severed arm that was found some time ago. That's up to dispute when. And they were able to use it to activate the panel, and were able to glean some information about the area they are around. But after a time, they tried to access restricted areas of the memory of this particular computer panel, and it locked them out and began to flash red. And that is where we will pick up as you just finished combat with some kind of drone. You'll manage to destroy it, but your two Aru regulators that are accompanying you, both of them were severely injured. And so right now, like Stevie is seeing to Timot, binding his wounds, and as this computer panel kind of flashes red, you do see, you basically can make out that something is approaching. Like there's a proximity counter on it, and something is getting nearer to y'all. Now we don't have Kiana tonight, so I was gonna have her jump in the driver's seat of the basically y'all's skiff that y'all are driving.
We'll have to settle for Zenith.
Hmm?
I said we'll have to settle for Zenith.
I mean,
Zenny is passed out. Heat exhaustion. Zenith, take the wheel.
Yeah,
Double clutch. Grind it. Find it. Come on. Let's see what you got.
Kenneth looks up from his comms and puts on his cool boy sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, there's no other choice. I'll have to do it.
Yeah, and Stevie's over there freaking out, like lashing off Timot's wounds. He's bleeding a little bit, and he himself is injured as well.
Mm-hmm. I'll ask Stevie. You got this, Stevie?
Yeah, I got it. Don't worry, I'll be fine. He's worse off than I am. And you can tell, just in the moment, he's kind of snapped to, speaking to you as an authority figure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, Zenith is holding on to that to have some semblance of holding together.
Okay.
Himself.
What would you like to do?
I think we should. I don't know, because Zenith's obsession is to find out what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
But what would prove prudent is to GTF them. So he's gonna go to Bass.
Bass.
Wait, my shoulder's very sore, and I don't know what to do.
I can massage it for you.
That's maybe later. I need to decide. Should we keep going further, or do we need to retreat somewhere? We're injured.
We keep going forward.
What?
Well, out of the two options, forward is the correct one.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I think too. Oh, yes. So he's gonna sit and he's gonna comment.
Now hold on, I'm in character. Let me look at my sheet for a second, because if I recall, I'm nearly dead. Yeah, I've got 3 in might, 2 in speed, 4 in intellect. Yeah, I'm nearly dead.
Let me check and see how Zenith is doing.
Now, nothing hit me. I used all my points, and that's similar with Cypher, and we can rest. So we might
exerted yourself.
Yeah, we might want to hole up somewhere.
Okay, so you want to continue descending, but looking for maybe looking for a hiding spot or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So do you have, Zenith, do you have anything to do with vehicles or
No, of course not.
Yeah. Okay.
Theoretically, I have done this sort of thing before.
I mean, you could have been the partner that didn't drive also.
I could have been that one.
Or you have any kind of handling Numenera or
Do I today?
I can help. Zenith.
Right, yeah, actually right now my flex skill is decipher Numenera.
Okay. No. Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah, you can use that, and if Bass, you want to kind of like be an asset, like no, that's the accelerator pedal.
Yeah. And mechanically, I can use my anecdote ability and tell the story about when I taught my son Nathaniel how to drive, and taught him about the hovercraft, and
You have a son?
Several.
Oh.
And I'm sired many children.
Sire's not a word I've ever used in the personal sense. That's interesting.
Yes. But essentially, on Nathaniel's first day, I gave him very clear instructions, and he was able to operate his hovercraft. It made us all proud.
Okay.
And you will make us proud. And so, yeah, you are now trained in piloting the hovercraft for the next day. Then I'll have to tell you another story about driving, and I don't have that many of them.
I'm trained in how to drive, and I'm also terrified of letting my father down. Thank you.
Well, Nathaniel did. He had to be spanked. Bent him over my knee in front of God and everyone.
Whoa, that's not consenting.
It was a different time.
Okay. You stink eye.
At least he didn't use a belt like his father did.
Well, my proud, Zenith, I think the issue with you is you were raised soft.
I don't. That is not something anybody's ever said of a dance. Beth.
Until just now.
We're pretty tough. Yes.
Dance soft?
Dance soft. There's no such thing as dance soft.
While all of this conversation is going on, Tai Wu is in the back of the skiff.
Mm-hmm.
He's found something brand new to play with concerning his arm. So with like any child with a brand new toy, he's trying to get the lights to work again. So he's just pressing buttons.
Nice.
Okay. So you're just pressing buttons on your mechanical arm?
Yes.
You just okay. Roll me a D100.
In the back. All right. Sorry. All right. Got so 59.
A 59?
Yes.
Okay. 59. Okay. Yeah, you you're kind of like messing with this, and it's never really done anything. But you're in close proximity to the panel, and you kind of like hit a button, and on the forearm there is like a screen. It's been blank this whole time, but it kind of flickers to life for a split second. And you just hear like a hiss emit from outside of it, and the immediate area around you just kind of notice that all the dust kind of goes away, and that the air around you just smells cleaner. It smells just like there's nothing in it but air. Like there's no dust, there's no anything. It's just the air around you is nice and pleasant and clean.
Does anybody else notice that the air smells clean, or is it just
well, right now, Bass and Zenith are up front, like trying to get the skiff moving, and like in the second row, Timot and Stevie are bandaging each other's wounds. Zinnia's passed out next to you from heat exhaustion, and so yeah, like right now, nobody's really noticed because everybody's kind of preoccupied.
I made it do something. It did something. Look, it's doing something. Look.
Oh no.
And
What's
and
it
you
doing, Tai Wu?
Yeah, y'all actually see like with the lighting as it is, as he's waving his arm around, you kind of see this little bubble as the air looks like it's being filtered around him. Like whereas he kind of like moves around. Yeah.
Ooh. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I want to sniff it. Is it more pure?
Yeah. No, I mean, Bass, you've definitely, since you're an explorer, you've been around, you've been in like clean rooms, you've been in filtered, like it is literally filtering the air around it right now.
Yeah.
You kind of hear this very low grade kind of a hiss. Is it just kind of, you kind of put your hand around it, Taiwu, and you can kind of almost feel a current at some parts of the joints as if it's filtering the air as you're moving around.
It's not doing a lot, but it's doing something. I'm ready to do something. I'm ready to do something.
And he's just gonna keep singing that song as
That's
he's
pretty impressed.
still kind of like looking at the control panel.
Bass, I require you to record this into my communicator. Please.
Yeah.
May I?
Taiwu, as you look over at the control panel on the wall, you see it kind of tick up, and now it's pulsing twice as fast and loud.
Sorry.
That's awesome.
And I was just about to do it. Yeah, so Bass like takes the communicator and is like, oh, conspiracy. Oh, the world's trying to get me. Oh.
Bass.
The air is more pure. Oh, it must be.
Bass, I really don't think that you're being very respectful here. I'm supposed to be in a position of authority.
Chemtrails, rabble.
I really don't believe in hierarchies of that sort. We have what we call a flat organization.
I don't. It's you can just stick to the facts. That's what's going to be useful after. You can just, or you can just hold it in front of my face, and I'll record it myself.
Everybody, give me a perception check. If you have perception.
That's a 12.
I got a 10, but I'm trained.
I got 11, and I'm specialized.
Okay, Bass, because the DC was it was a level 5 task. So, yeah, Bass is the only one. You're sitting there kind of giving Zenith some pointers, and Zenith, go ahead and give me a roll to get this thing moving as it's starting to sputter to life. But Bass, you kind of glance up, and you definitely see something descending. It's hard to make out, but you can definitely see there's every now and again a glow. You're not sure if it's from an engine or a reflection off of the light further up the tunnel, but you definitely see the glint of something above y'all, and it's approaching.
They're being approached from above.
I put a level of effort into navigating, and I rolled a 16.
Oh yeah, you're fine. You would have got it with the roll. But yeah, you managed to get the skip roaring to life, and this is right at, because remember y'all were waiting for the wind to die down, and it has died down in the last few minutes. And so you get the skip roaring to life. You going straight down? Yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm all mixed up with my mutes.
Oh yeah, no worries. So yeah, you totally pull like a Bruce Willis in Fifth Element, where you just like roar around and then shoot straight down. Want to do it soft, do it hard, and you start taking off down. It's not long, Bass or anybody, if you're looking behind you. After a few minutes,
I think he's getting closer. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say whatever was behind you kind of stops following. Like you lose it after a few minutes of descent, and sometime more. And in this time, you can, if y'all want to, y'all can have a recovery roll if you want, just between sessions. Yeah, you begin to descend, and It's not long, probably not even 20 minutes as you continue to descend. Bass, one thing you would notice, even without checking, the further you descend, the newer that the walls look. Like they're still made from scrap, right? And it's not like whole, it's very piecemeal. There's holes here and there. It's not a solid job like the walls that you are used to up near the city in the lands of HEl-A, where the walls are smooth and perfect. These walls, I mean, they're, like I said, it's obviously they're just taking pieces and making them fit and just kind of bending pieces of scrap and arms and rebar and support struts and things and just putting them in place. But as you've descended, like the walls were very old right at the borderline, and as you're continuing to descend, that's the one thing you just kind of notice at a glance that maybe like sticks out is the further you descend, the newer. And that's not saying much. We're talking like really old. Now it's kind of pretty old. We're still old in that era, but you can definitely tell the difference. And are y'all still looking for a hidey hole or some
We
place?
are.
Okay. Well, as you are continuing to descend, everybody give me another perception check.
15.
14.
Okay.
2.
Yeah, Bass, maybe you're distracted by the walls, like the revelation, or looking back up, making sure you aren't being followed. So you don't really notice anything below you. But Zenith, you're looking where you're going, and Taiwu, you're paying attention as well. Taiwu, you see kind of you're descending kind of off to the right. You see like a kind of a pretty large like hole in the wall. It doesn't look like the one y'all saw much further up that was like an actual like gash, like a rend in the construction. This just looks like an area where there was nothing to put there, and so there is a pretty sizable recession into the wall. You could probably fit the whole skiff in it. So you kind of see that off to the right, further down. Zenith, you see one of those green doors. Remember they all saw a while back?
How big is the green door? Is it big enough to put the ship in?
No. It is a standard, like what would be a standard door, like just a normal door. Y'all tried to hack into one way back in like the second adventure, unsuccessfully. Mm-hmm. But this looks like a very similar door. And the one thing you would notice is the construction around the door is more solid than the rest of the walls. It's more,
reinforced,
right? It's more constructed. It looks like the door leads to a full room that's built into the wall, but all you can see is just this flat door, some kind of crystalline glass or something, and with a green glow coming from inside. Mm. It literally looks like the exact same door, but you're not in the same spot.
Right. I'm gonna point to that and say to Bass, we're going in there.
Taiwu's gonna start kind of pointing and screaming at Zenith.
Zenith will start screaming back at you.
There's a whole hiding spot. A nice spot.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Good job. Good job. Oh, Bass, I need your support. I'm gonna try to park the car in parallel park.
Okay. Bass at this point. Well, you are still trained for the rest of the day. Okay. So here's why I mentioned this.
He wants moral support, not mechanical support.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I offer mechanical support, I'm brain dead because I'll lose enough points. No. It's like, and that's finally what Bash just has like an aneurysm, and that's it. I don't know if you saw, I put it in chat. So I had the 2 recovery rolls because I had the one between session, and then I used one. I rolled 1 on both. So like...
You still get your tier?
Yeah, I know. I'm first tier. So I got a 2. So Bass is like, Zenith,
rough.
I've been very unkind to you.
Yes, you have.
I don't know what it is. Something around your eyes.
It seems uncalled for and inappropriate, and frankly, it hurt my feelings.
In life, sometimes we must have our feelings hurt.
I've had enough of that from other people, Bass. We're in this shit together.
I'm gonna make you a deal. I'm gonna be nice to you for 7 days. And if at the end of 7 days I don't rib you, name call you, belittle you, mock you, mimic you, hit on your wife, give advice to your children, reorganize your spice rack,
I don't have any spices.
be kind to Barry.
Wait, why do you need to be kind to Barry?
Well, I won't be kind to Barry.
Oh, okay.
Because I have been. I've been over there chumming up.
With Barry?
Yeah, in that house. I'm not going to do any of those things for 7 days. And at the end of 7 days, if I do all those things, we will have established a clean slate, you and I. Agree?
Yeah, okay.
Then time out because I have to get it out of my system. And then Grant Ellis would say, well, too bad because life doesn't work that way. You're just going to have to deal with me what I am. You're going to have to toughen up, Zenith. But Bass doesn't say that. Bass will be true to his word.
It's not necessary.
No. All right. So now I'm back to Bass. All right. We have a deal.
Zenith's tough his own way.
Sorry, y'all. This is what happens when I drive for 12 hours. It's just kind of like, I'm going to take it out on Zenith Dan's. Cream puff cinnamon roll.
He's not a cream puff cinnamon roll. He's strong in his own. He sees the truth.
He faces truth no one else will. All right. Got it out of my system.
True.
7 days. I'm going to be nice for 7 days.
It's true. On Twitch and YouTube, if you think Zenith Dance is strong, say something and Grant out. I'm going to attempt to park the car and conceal it.
Okay, so are you heading over to the hidey hole to try to park in there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, y'all would have to have a bit of a climb to get over to the door if you wanted to go there. Just letting you know that. It's not that bad, but it's pretty much just kind of parallel around the wall, probably a few hundred meters. Just so you know. But yeah, go ahead and as you begin to descend towards the hidey hole, you lower down to it, and it's roughly trapezoidal in shape, like this recess. So you're actually going to have to like kind of tip, and you're going to have to tip the skip up just a bit to kind of squeeze it in there, like fitting a table in the back of your truck or whatever, you know. So go ahead and give me another driving roll or handling Numenera.
All right.
This is going to be a level. I'm going to say this is a level 5.
Okay. So it's gonna be level 4 because I'm trained. And then I'm gonna put effort in. Put it level 3, or Grant gives me double
Grant,
up?
Grant, you were already trained. Grant gives you specialization.
Oh, there you go. So that if I put effort in, that gives me 2.
Yeah. So you need a 6 or above.
All right. I got a 9.
There you go.
This is my most successful session.
Yeah. So you manage to get in there. It takes a little bit. You take your time. So it takes a minute. And you manage to get the skiff inside this hole, and it like I said, it fits pretty much. The rear end of it is just like sticking out just a couple of inches, but you're just kind of in this recession, and when you like look around you, like you almost like Taiwu to your right, it almost looks like the hallway of like the inside of a building or a ship maybe. But then the hallway's folded over and like kind of melted down. Like you actually like look and you can kind of see that this was probably like a large room inside of something else that has been remolded into this wall. Like I said, just kind of looking around, you can see that it is pretty much uniform construction in here. Like what you're in right now is a room in and of itself that has been placed in this wall, like whatever it was before. So, do y'all want to look around in here, or do you want to go ahead and start making climb checks to get over to the green door?
Oh, Taiwu immediately jumps out and starts looking at the wall, touching everything.
Okay. So yeah, give me a perception check as you start kind of rooting around in here.
13.
13. Okay. Yeah, you're you start like walking down this kind of corridor that actually extends kind of up at a 45-degree angle away from where the skiff is, just because the way it's kind of packed in here. And you have about 15 feet of like hallway that you can walk down that you're kind of working your way up. And you're about halfway there. And from somewhere at the end, it's kind of shadowed, just because there's not a lot of light in here, and the lamps from the skiff, it's just an odd angle, so it's kind of hard to see all the way to the end of this hallway. But you hear like some kind of scurry, or like a sniffing, or like a biting. Like, you're not really sure. It's definitely like some kind of animal or something that's up ahead of you.
Yeah, Taiwu would stop immediately, because in his journeys of living in the warehouse, he knows about little random rats and stuff that are there, and how they can nip at him. So he's gonna stop. Is there a lot of shadow around me?
Yeah, there is. There's, like I said, the glow globes from the skiff are lit, but you can easily just kind of take a step to the side and you're in the shadows.
And the hallway that I'm in, is it the structure that is made out of the material that is made out of? Is it metal?
Oh yeah. The majority of everything around you, yes, is metal or some kind of,
Okay. Taiwu is gonna he's gonna move towards the area, the side of the wall that is the most shadowy, and get into like a crawling position and crawl all the way until he's hanging upside down on the wall.
Okay. Are you just using your physical abilities, or are you actually pulling some of your magnetism?
This is magnetism. Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Right.
All right. Yeah, you can kind of climb up and hang there.
And well, yeah, because I was gonna still move forward, because he is curious, because he knows that the animals down here look a little bit different than the animals up top. So just curiosity is gonna have him at a crawl speed, still moving forward.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so Taiwu, you're sneaking forward, and correct me if I'm wrong, you did not say anything to the rest of the party, right?
No, I haven't said anything.
Okay. So we're gonna cut back to the rest of the party. Bass, Zenith, Stevie's finishing up, bandaging up Timot, and he's making sure that Zenny is okay. What are y'all doing right now?
Bass is trying to examine and see if there's a good spot to establish some sort of base camp or shelter, because Bass can't handle much more adventuring. He needs to sleep at this point. Although, if other people in the party are good to press on, he will follow. He just won't be able to contribute as much.
Okay. So you're looking around to see if there's a place here to make camp.
Yeah.
All right. So give me a perception, or don't you have an ability that lets you?
I'm very good at this sort of thing. So specialized, I got a 10 to try to establish a survival position.
Okay. Yeah, you look around like Taiwu's somewhere. I don't know if you noticed that he's gone or not, but you hop off the front of the skiff, and while there's not really a lot of room at the front here, when you move forward about 5 feet or so, you kind of walk around a corner, and it looks like the wall that is sticking out here that you walked around was kind of folded up on itself, and it's actually right next to like what looks like a door that is partially ajar. You don't think you can fit through it, but you might be able to like wedge the door open, because it looks like there's a further space past it. Like, you can kind of see in there. It looks like there's some room, but you think maybe Taiwu could squeeze in here, but otherwise you would need to try to pry that door open.
I think I'm going to try to pry it open.
Okay. Alrighty. This will be a level 4 task.
Might task?
Yes, it will be a might task.
Okay. Let me double check to see if that can. Yeah. Alright. So I'm going to spend 2 levels of effort.
Okay.
And burn through all my points. But I think it's worth doing if it gets us out of the bind. I rolled a 9, so I got a 3, and I spent 2 levels of effort.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're good. You barely managed to kind of wedge this door, and you realize like it doesn't swing one way or the other. As you're kind of pulling, you see that it slides into the wall. And there's very delayed, very long kind of a as you press it open. But beyond is a small room. It's not a complete room. It looks like a room that's been like bisected at an angle. But you have about a 10 by 20 area in here where it kind of meets very rough a rough scrap wall where this space was part of something else that was just attached to a hole in the wall. And so, yeah, you think that everybody can fit through here, and you'll be completely out of sight, out of mind. Can't really do anything about the skiff, but it's pretty much out of the way.
Yeah, so I'm going to lead the way. I'm like, once more into the breach, and then just kind of motion to where I've opened, and let everyone know. We should probably bat down the skiff. It's out of the way. But for us, we must go in deeper.
Okay. So yeah, you come out and you kind of yell that out. Back in the other hallway, Taiwu. You begin creeping forward. Go ahead and give me a stealth check. It'll be a speed task. If you have any kind of training or specialization in it.
Yes, I do. I am. I am skilled in stealth.
Okay.
16.
You rolled a 16? Okay. Yeah, you're like, however it looks to you, whether you're just freaking hovering right off the ceiling and barely touching it to move by. So you're like a ghost. And your eyes adjust a little bit now that you're kind of out of the direct light. And you definitely see at the end of this hallway, there's a bunch of wires and cabling coming out of the wall. And you see about 5 or 6 they would be about the size of maybe like a pit bull, about that size, like a medium-sized dog, like body, except they have kind of short, kind of stunted arms. And they have these big these giant mouths with these huge kind of rending teeth. And they're just like tearing into these wires and this cabling with some great abandon. And they're just kind of munching on it. This is when you see as you sneak up on them, it looks like they finally got to their bounty, right? And they're eating here, and you can kind of see a yellowish haze drifting out of the end of the hallway. You don't you see it, you don't smell anything, but then you look and you see and realize you still have that little whirring of your arm. And you can see where the haze kind of gets near you and just disappears. It's pretty much being filtered out of the air is what it looks. It's pretty obvious what's going on. But this haze is starting to kind of drift out. As they continue to eat these wires and cables.
Okay, so when I was climbing this hallway, you said it was at a 45-degree incline?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Could I relax the effort of the magnetism and kind of slide back down without using a lot of effort silently? As if I'm going downhill but upside down. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, because this is to Taiwu is smart enough to know that looks dangerous.
Like these things look familiar, but I don't know. There's something about them that's just different. Like in the back of your mind, like it like just seeing them and like what they're doing kind of triggered something. But it's like I know these things, but I don't. It's one of those feelings like when you know something, but can't put your finger on it. I'll stop repeating myself. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna take that information and go get help. And even though he's sliding down, he is absolutely gleeful and happy to have some brand new news to tell his new friends, Bastion's in it.
Okay. So yeah, as you get to the tunnel, like you pop out right as Bass is like, hey, I found a place for us to stay. And y'all kind of like meet back at the skiff at that moment. So
We are not alone. There's some creature in chewing on electric wires. It doesn't look friendly. Maybe we should keep him. Bass, can we keep him?
Yes. If Zenith gets a pet, Taiwu gets a pet.
That's not. What? But I think we need to
used
discuss
to have that little. At some
Little
point.
Z's right here.
Yeah.
Right here. Little Z. Is it? It's like little Z. Like what is it? What does it look like?
I think we need more.
He's and there's these weird, funny looking yellow air around. I don't know what it is.
Yellow air.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the animal thought.
How big? How big is it? How big?
He's gonna put his arms out about the size of it.
Funny looking arms. Real funny looking. Not like my arm.
A small child found some sort of animals. Wishes to domesticate it, but I think that's a bad idea. You want to?
Taiwu's gonna go straight for Bass and like grab him by the arm and start tugging him in that direction.
Well, Pruitt's out. There's a mechanical way we can get out of this. So I think if you spend 2 or 3 experience points, depending on, you could claim this animal as a companion as a long-term benefit. Spend 3 XP and then it's ours if Pruitt goes for it. I've done that in some sessions where, like there was this like tiger that was going to eat us, but we tamed it and made it into our mount. I had to give it away after a while though, but couldn't keep it.
I mean, you could certainly try.
Well, no, what I was going to recommend is spend the experience point for a long-term benefit and be like, well, maybe we can train this thing and it becomes Taiwu's like trademark signature animal companion. Or we can try to do this the old-fashioned way. Bass gets the gloves.
Well, Taiwu's still tugging Bass towards.
I'm following.
Okay, so you are heading back up that tunnel.
I'm preparing my 3 XP to be the most beautiful grave site for Bass that they're going to build in the town. Monument. No.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So y'all begin walking back up this tunnel. It looks like like the floor is maybe at one point had carpet or something on it, but it's long eroded away. It's almost down to just the bare, like the metal of the tunnel or walkway itself. But you get up to the kind of the top, and there's just like this little alcove where these like 5 things were. And like I said, they're about the size of a medium dog. Taiwu, when you get back up there, one thing you notice is they look puffier. They look bigger. They look almost like their skin is expanding a bit. And you can see, and Bass, you can see this and you can smell it. You don't need to make a might defense roll yet, but you start to, and your eyes are a little itchy as you're walking down this hallway. And there's this yellow mist that kind of hangs in the air. And the further you get down this hallway, it gets stronger. And like I said, it's only kind of itchy and there's a little of a tickle in your throat.
This isn't good for my old age. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
They look funny. They look swollen. Like they were eating. They were eating.
Quantified.
That fast. Do you think they'll get bigger?
I do, but not in the best way.
Mm-hmm.
Tai Wu's gonna attempt to make like a whistle sound as if he's calling him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So Master's gonna turn to Zenith and just be like, "I like your hair, Zenith, but that's Emma's hair." not.
Yes, Zenith's hair is always a constant halo of frizz.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and Zenith is just saying that the boy is attempting to. Provoke the creatures. I'm bracing myself for an attack.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Tai Wu, just out of the sheer fun of it all, he's going to jump and attach himself to the ceiling again. Before he does that, he takes his cloak off, and then he bundles it kind of like under his arm, and then like goes up to the top of the top of the ceiling.
Okay.
And then
Pretty boy. Pretty boy.
Okay. Hang on. Let me roll something right quick. Okay. Well, they it was just a reaction roll. That's all. Nothing terrible.
I'm just gonna say, if the game master rolls in Cypher, it's probably never good, unless you find a Cypher.
Hey, you never know. You haven't searched this whole area. Yeah, you let out a little whistle and a "Hey there, pretty boy," and it's pretty instant. Like all 5 of these things, and it's getting actually like kind of hard for them to maneuver around one another. And you can kind of see them like when they like bump up against each other. Like it's not flesh. Like the part that's expanding is just skin, and it's being expanded almost like a balloon as they're kind of bumping around each other. And you can kind of see their sinewy bodies kind of rolling underneath this like skin that's being inflated slowly. And they all kind of turn around. And this is when like Tai Wu, it might hit you a little bit. Like, you know, up in Aru, y'all have like these little like bat squirrel things that fly around. But there are also these like little like, they're almost like a cross between rats and squirrels. But they're usually about at most like a foot and a half long. Like these things look kind of like those. Y'all call them bloaters. They're just like these little like beach balls that eat wires, and they break down the metal and the whatever's in the casing of the wire, and it causes them to expand, and they can float around and kind of fly around. But these things are like about 2.5, 3 feet long and like medium sized, and they all kind of turn around and look around, and it's clear they don't know where it came from because they're just looking straight ahead. Eventually one of them kind of looks up at you, and they're just like, eh! But right now they're just kind of looking around, and they look kind of scared, a little caught off guard, but they don't seem to be like aggressive.
You're not going to hurt me, are you? You look funny like me. Let's put you together.
he's gonna crawl just a little bit closer towards them. Are they? It's just, you said there's 5 of them, right?
Yeah, there's 5 of them. 4 of them up front like look like they're kind of like they're all looking at you, and they're kind of grouped up, trying to present a formidable like defense, or just strength in numbers kind of. The one in the back, he turned around and he was looking at you and like maybe scared, but he kind of like sees the 4 in front of him, and he turns around and looks like he's keeping an eye on you, but he goes back and kind of nibbles on some wires. Looks like he's still like trying to take advantage of eating while the other 4 are distracted.
Okay. I'm going to keep crawling upside down towards the closest one, the one that's closest to me.
Okay. Yeah, that's going to be the four that are kind of cluttered together. As you kind of crawl down closer to them, they kind of squish together a little bit more, and you can kind of see their kind of ballooned flesh like push up against each other, and they kind of get lodged in the little alcove area, and they're squishing the fifth one back against the wall, and he's kind of squished up against the wall and but still eating. But they are their eyes are turning from scared, and they're getting a little wilder and wider the closer you get.
What are you eating?
How far away are they from me?
I would say that they are what is it? Immediate, about 10 feet.
About 10 feet. Okay.
You can move and make an action.
Okay. I want to. All right. So listen. Oh man. All right. I want to leap on top of the first one that I see with my cloak. As if to kind of like like a bat wing, kind of like jump on one. But now let me know if I can do this, because I don't know, because I'm hoping that can count as just a movement. And for my action, I wanted to pull out a device that he's had in his back pocket. It's a funny looking device that does something interesting with momentum. It's like a momentum dampener. It's it puts out like a field. So I want to jump.
You're going to enact the inertial dampeners.
Right. I want to jump on one and then put the dampener in between the one that I'm covering with my cloak, and the dampener in between me and the other four. If that makes
all right.
sense.
Oh, I'm with you. So you're basically just want to like kind of grab this one and keep him where he is, and just keep the others away from you.
Yes.
That's what you're going for? Okay. Alrighty. Well, you jump down on one, and the reaction is immediate. It does not like it, and it starts to buck, but you put the inertial dampener out. And what level is that cipher?
That one is.
I'm sure it just works, but.
I'm so sorry. It's on my sheet. Sorry. I believe that was that one we just said it just works, because the crystal detonator was the 6th, the remake.
Oh well, I mean, these things are only like level 3 creatures. So yeah, you put that out, and it starts to buck and kind of like throw you off, but it doesn't. It stops moving, and you basically like land on it, and it's kind of like an exercise ball. It's kind of what it feels like you're laying on an exercise ball as you, and you can kind of see some of that like that yellow mist now that you're back in this corner. With them moving around, it gets kicked up and it's starting to get thicker. The other four though, when you do that, like freak out, and they start like running, and as they take a few steps, they kind of like kick off, and they actually start floating down the hallway. And for lack of a better term, because we had flumps in the other game that toot around, like literally as they like take off, you like see them kind of like, and they like toot right out of there. And so the four of them do that. Bass, you see four of these things start coming down the hallway, like letting out little screeches and like whines, as you're not sure what you saw really. Like the kid dropped down and landed on one, and he's riding it like a bull or something, and the other four are like scrambling out. Are you just trying to get out of the way? What are you doing?
I think we all need to claim one as our own and ride them all like bulls.
Okay.
No, I think I need to be like, all right, Taiwu, we've had our fun. We gotta go.
Okay.
Who said I can keep them?
When in our room, you can, if you can bring it out. They might not like you stealing them, though. You got to let him decide. Today you learn about consent.
So, do you try to get out of the way of these things, Bass?
Yeah, 100%. I can't stay in the way. I'll die.
Yeah. I will say this: as they start rushing past you, the four of them, the yellow fog kind of gets almost overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and give me a might defense roll as you're kind of in this hallway. It's right now. I mean, it's only a level 3 might defense roll.
Yeah, I rolled an 18. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of hoping I'd be like, a 2. Bass is dead. Congratulations.
Maybe not. Maybe.
Maybe he's pretty low.
Yeah, you can tell, like, whatever is the byproduct of this reaction, it's like you begin coughing and choking a bit, but you manage to, like, cut your breath off and stop breathing and wave it away. And, you know, if you were caught, like, in a room with one of these things, it could probably kill you. But you managed to kind of wave that away. And the four of them kind of scramble out. Zenith, you see 4 of these, like, these bloaters, some call them scrats, come tumbling out of this hallway. Like, imagine like sentient beach balls that have legs that come careening out of a hallway and like kick off of the wall and start floating out into the fall, like into the deep, to get away from something.
As a reasonable man, Zenith starts screaming.
So Zenith starts screaming. Y'all hear Zenith scream like a
Face the truth, Zenith. Face the truth.
What? You can scream and be scared. It's bravery because you do it even though you're scared.
It's fearless.
Even though I'm scared, I'm still gonna scream. All right. So yeah, those 4 kind of run by, and you're out you're not in the hallway, like not in the tunnels, Zenith, so you don't have to make a save for this, but you definitely see these streaks and this yellow fog in their wake, and it dissipates and kind of falls out of the way. And it's much like when Bass was early on in the tunnel. It's kind of itchy and your eyes are a little dry. Tai Wu, did we say how long this inertial dampener lasts?
Oh no! Let me know what I've got the thing pulled up. Let me look at it. It is projecting mobile field from any device that lasts for 1 minute.
Okay, so for a minute, this thing, and you can tell it's like still breathing, but it's like trying to struggle and move as you're like balanced on top of it, but it just can't. And so, do you do anything immediately?
Yes. He's seen other people in back home. I'm assuming are there dogs in that back home? Like, do people walk dogs on leashes and stuff? Because I just want to make sure he's pulling from the right place.
I mean, not really. There's not a lot of places for dogs, and it's not really like an evolutionary thing here.
Okay.
Some people have these things back in Aru, but again, they're about this big and not like huge, like medium size.
Okay.
And some people are like Zenith, like every now and again somebody will have like one of these flying bat squirrels, scurry bats. So, nobody really has those on leashes though. But you want to put a leash on it?
Well, I was going to use like a tendril on a free hand to act as a leash.
Okay.
Right.
So you're gonna put your magnetism. You're gonna enact it on him.
Yes.
Okay, using the tendril as the actual physical object.
Yes.
You can definitely do that. So you just kind of wrap this thing around him and start pulling him down the hallway, or what?
Well, yeah. Tai Wu he's not cruel, and he saw that he was chewing on the wires. So as an act of kind of like being nice, he's going to like kind of like drag him towards the wires, and to like show him the food, in a sense, and then maybe get close enough to start petting. Like, yeah, I'm a friend.
Okay. Do you climb off of him before you do this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. You kind of position this thing, and now there's only one, so it's a little bit easier, and it's inflated enough like you actually can pick this thing up. It's not heavy, like really, like it's whatever gas is in this thing, it gives it buoyancy, right? And so you manage to turn this thing around to the wires, and like it doesn't really, like I said, it can't really move. Its eyes move a little bit, and it's breathing pretty quickly, and it's like looking at you freaked out, and it's looking at the wires, but it's not taking a bite. Again, might be because of the cipher you enacted, but it's just kind of sitting there, like looking at you and looking at the wires and like looking around for escape. Do you do anything else before the minute runs up?
Yeah, he's going to just like you know how like you mommy will like do the spoon with the airplane kind of thing. He's gonna kind of like do make the motion as if he's going to be like gnawing on the wires as well, kind of showing, look,
It's safe. It's good. My friends.
Okay. Okay. So you're gonna go to like you're gnawing on the wires. Or you're gonna go to like feed it, or just do that?
Yeah, to use it, to not touch it directly.
Mm-hmm.
To use my other hand with
Okay.
use those to kind of like feed.
Okay. All right. Now, are you planning on doing are you about to use 3 experience on this thing?
I don't have 3. I only have 1.
Oh. Okay.
Well, he would have. I don't think Trey was on the call when you gave us the 3 experience.
Yeah,
So
no.
you have 4.
Because I realized I didn't give y'all XP, and y'all been through a couple of adventures. So I was going to say you have 3 story experience. So
And absolutely, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you spend 3 experience to make this thing your friend. All right. So you kind of go down there and you start like gnawing on the wires and show him the wires, and like you kind of see his eyes kind of go from wide and kind of scared to like calm down a little bit and like look at you and look at the wires more though. And finally, like you think it's about 60 seconds, you hear the cipher kind of fizzle out. There's like a thrum in the air that kind of stops as the field goes down, and the little guy just kind of like goes up and like nibbles on the wires next to you, and his eyes are kind of looking at you, but he like nibbles on the wires and just
Yes, tasty. Yeah,
and he goes back to eating, and he doesn't look like he's going to run away. He's still continuing to eat, and as he does, he is continuing to kind of like fill up and expand.
What do you get when you guzzle down sweets? Sorry.
Taiwu couldn't be happier right now. Nothing is going to pull him away from this moment of sharing a wire with his rat creature.
Okay. Yeah. So it continues to eat for another few minutes before it gets its fill, and you can kind of tell, like you can see its skin kind of stretch to pretty much capacity. And this thing is about like 3.5 feet in diameter. Like it will barely be able, like it will fit down the hallway here, even though it's kind of angled and a little twisted, but just barely. And yeah, and like as you look around here, you can tell like there have been many spots here that have been chewed upon. Like maybe this is some place where these things live and kind of burrow and hang out. But yeah, this thing fills completely up, and it like once it fills up, like its legs are pretty much vestigial. Like only its little paws are sticking out at the edge of its expanded flesh, and it just kind of floats there. And this is when that's when you see it kind of, you hear a little and it kind of burps and turns itself, and its little claw like paws at the wall, and it kind of moves down the wall.
This is perfect.
Yeah,
Wu is
pretty hideous. It's on point for you.
Taiwu is going to use one of his tendrils to wrap around the stump of his palm, and slide down the hallway with him while he has his rat balloon adrift.
Well, it's almost enough to keep you afloat.
Yes, that's even better. Yes.
You're pretty sure if you didn't have the big metal arm, you could probably like ride this thing and it could float just fine, just because of your size. But
right.
It's one of those things where like it starts to slowly descend as you hang on to it, but it's a 45-degree angle, so you're just kind of like floating down. And Zenith, you see Taiwu like Mary Poppins descend out of a tunnel, and instead of an umbrella has a bloated like 3.5 foot in diameter, like a rat squirrel that is just like a beach ball with a face and little like four claws that just kind of are at the edges of its bloated skin. And there's Taiwu just hanging on to it.
Thank you, Pretty. This is Pretty, everyone. Pretty. Pretty, these are my friends, Pretty. Ah, he's pretty like me. He's pretty like me.
Yeah. That's when,
The child doesn't understand the danger he's in.
yeah, Bass starts rambling. Winds in the east, mist coming in, like something is brewing and about to begin. He like just straight up Bert from Mary Poppins, it 100% Dick Van Dyke. Just gonna leave.
Yeah, but this thing seems to hang around. Like once Taiwo gets to the bottom, it just kind of sits there and floats, and it's looking around at all of you and just kind of looking around, and it kind of turns its head over just enough and reaches with its little paw, kind of scratches at its head, and it just kind of floats there. But
What does Lil Z think of this?
Little Z, when it came down, Little Z like did that thing where when he runs down the back of your shoulder, kind of hangs onto your shoulders. Yeah, he's right now like kind of clinging to your shoulders, looking over like, and you can feel him like breathing really fast and like kind of covering his face, and he sneezes a couple times.
His nervous sneezes.
Well, no. I was gonna say that yellowish haze is definitely thicker once this thing enters the room. Your eyes are itchy. You've got that tickle. You don't need to make not like Bass had to when the 4 went by him, but it's a little uncomfortable to be in this room. It's just it's like at the height of spring, and there's just pollen, and you can see the pollen descending in the air. It's that kind of thing. But this is when you are all like everybody can see without a doubt as it descends. There's a perfect like an egg-shaped void of nothingness around Taiwo as it descends upon him, but the air around him is perfectly clean. And Taiwo, you still like you don't know like why these people are sneezing or coughing. You really don't.
Yes. Thank you for Pretty. Yes, this was a gift. A gift from the fallen. Yes. Look, I'll be in the back feeding him.
Taiwo's gonna head to the skiff, totally uninterested in anything else that is going on.
Okay. Yeah. Stevie has already helped him into the room that Bass found, and he's currently came back and he's helping Zinnia in there right now. Because he's still under the impression he's just now coming out from helping Zinnia in there, and Stevie's like, oh, he comes out into the area and looks at Zenith and is like, what the hell is that?
I don't know.
Are we supposed to be interacting with the local wildlife like this?
He's just a kid, you guys. He wanted a pet.
Your kids would benefit from getting them. You should go get some for your kids as well.
I'm all for.
Aren't those bloaters?
They're bloaters.
Big bloaters. Well,
what's going to happen when that thing explodes?
We're going to get covered in shalluk.
Yeah.
Shalop.
Pretty.
I know.
But I hear their insides have curative powers. If this was Dungeon World, that would be spelled word.
Yeah, Stevie's like, you do you, man. I'm not getting anywhere near that.
Their livers are an aphrodisiac, I say, leaning in with a menacing glint in my eyes.
Listen here, Mr. Smarty Pants. I don't even know what that means, okay? So you're not going to get one over on Stevie.
It means they make one out of sex.
You know all about that with your little...
Maybe we should cut that thing open and eat its liver.
No. That's not what we're here for. Remember the mission.
Oh, sorry.
There's going to be some temptations.
There's always temptations along the way. Okay.
Sorry. I'm going to get yelled at by the neighbors in this condo.
F them. All right.
What happened to the other ones? Did they just bounce away?
Yeah, no, you saw them like they ran out and tumbled around out of that hallway and careened off the wall above the skiff and like made it out into the deep, and you saw them like go down.
Okay.
Like, yeah, they bugged out.
They were scared of my screaming.
Yes, you're very manly screaming. Yes.
It is. It can be manly.
It was a war cry.
Yes. Yes.
I do it every time I run away.
Give out the shout of retreat.
All right. So you're gonna bed down and have a rest.
100%.
Okay. Well, in that case, if you have any recovery rolls left, you may take all of those. Because you have your action, your minute, your 10-minute, and your 10-minute, your hour, and your 10-hour. So whatever you have left, go ahead and make those rolls. Let me. Pick a number between 1 and 20, everybody.
17.
3.
6.
Okay, nothing happens. I don't know. I figured a 3 in 20 chance for a random encounter. It's but yeah, y'all. Luckily, y'all are completely hidden away. You think you hear as the night progresses. You think you hear the sound of something mechanical. Y'all been around drones. You know what a drone sounds like.
Yeah.
You think you hear a drone pass by. Whether it's whoever was on the third shift. You think you hear a drone that passed by a couple times, almost like it was searching for something, but nothing. Nothing bothers you, and so y'all managed to rest, and you have a new day, as it were. Sorry, I need to roll to see where the wind is. Okay, wind just died down. It's a little harder to tell down here which wind you're on. You're pretty sure, Bass, you're pretty sure it's the third wind, which is usually about the time everybody wakes up. Third wind is about 6 in the morning, equivalent. So yeah. Taiwu, your bloat, whatever you want to call it, your bloater, your scrat, sorry, Scraticus Academy. Somebody mentioned that in the chat. But it's out there waiting. It's actually back up the tunnel when you wake up in the morning. It's up there sleeping. It looks like it ate a little bit more. But when you wake up in the morning, it comes down to greet you, and it looks like it's excited. And it kind of comes down, and it actually just bumps into you almost like a beach ball and bounces off.
All right. So when I was creating the character, you know how we have just a random item that we have with us.
Yeah.
My random item happened to be a saddle. A saddle to ride a small animal. I'm not kidding. That is a very.
He has a scrattle.
You have a scrattle. Yes.
Woo!
Okay. Yeah. So I'm not sure where you were keeping this. Maybe it's made of very tough but limber material, and so it's kind of folded up in your pack. I mean, this is Numenera after all. Okay. Probably made of some fucking meta material that it's like leather, but it weighs like 2 pounds.
We're gonna Monty cook this into place.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a kid leash.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like a kid harness with a little handle on it. So yeah, you have a saddle. Yep.
Yeah. So Taiwu will be spending the rest of his time until whatever decision the grown-ups decide, learning how to ride Pretty.
Okay. Is that its name? Is Pretty?
It's Pretty.
Okay, it's Pretty. That's true.
Like me.
They see it bloat and they hate it.
At some point. Oh god! At some point, Zenith is going to try to talk to Taiwu and inform him of the dangers of having this.
Okay. Well, you see Taiwu affixing a saddle to this thing, and it's looking around and turning upside down. You can tell, this thing has pretty good control over its body, right? While it's floating, so it's able to kind of turn itself a little bit so Taiwu can get a strap, and he's almost got it strapped in there. It's a pretty simple saddle. It's got some footholds.
But it can explode, right?
I mean, you have seen, like, you know that the ones that are up in Aru, like when y'all shoot them or attack them, they usually explode into a little puff of like yellow smoke that usually makes people cough, and it's kind of gross. It's like, you know, in like a field when you step on those little whatever they're, little mushroom.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like that. They look like that, and they just kind of into a yellow puff.
Yeah.
But again, those things are like this big, not. Yeah, not 3 feet in diameter. And so...
I'm going to attempt to talk sense into the small child.
Go for it.
Taiwu.
Yeah, yes, look, it fits. It fits.
That's very exciting, Taiwu. There's something you need to know and be prepared for. I don't... have you really thought through what you're going to do with this thing?
Yes, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to love him.
Have you ever... Okay. Are you sure you're going to be able to feed it all the time?
Yes, we can... Oh, this... Yes. Stop trying to confuse me.
It's okay, so that's a factor. That's a definite factor. There's the irritation and the itching. Lil Z isn't happy, but that's a tertiary point right now. But I'm concerned for your friend, because if Pretty gets hurt, it might hurt you.
I'm here to that's Pretty.
Oh, that's normal. That's empathy.
I didn't mean emotional. I meant
as the great bard said, love hurts. Okay.
It's not. I don't know what that song is, but so it's. Have you ever seen them up in Aru? Ever seen them die in Aru?
I've never seen anything like Pretty. Those aren't like Pretty. Pretty's different. Look how different Pretty is. Let her sniff your leg. Pretty, look.
You just let Pretty sniff me?
Yes.
That's what you just suggested.
If something happened to little Z, you'd get hurt.
That's true, but in a different way. Because I don't put a because little Z.
Yeah, but that scar heals. Yours would be on your heart forever.
That's as true as that may be, Bass.
Sorry, I'm awful.
Lovely creatures who are misunderstood. I've seen them before, and they explode if anything really happens. If they take a good hit, then they kind of explode. If you're riding it, then I'm a little bit worried about what might happen to you. You understand?
I have taken care of myself since I can remember. You will not take my friend away.
And
No.
with a very serious look, Taiwu is going to mount Pretty.
Okay. Give me a balance check. This is gonna be a level 4 task, as Pretty's not used to being ridden like this.
16.
Okay, you hop up on Pretty, and Pretty kind of like wavers for a minute, but you go with it. You don't try to correct. You let Pretty do the correction like you're supposed to, right? Mm-hmm. And Pretty kind of gets their bearings, and yeah, you see Taiwu astride a squirrel that looks like a beach volleyball with a face.
I think I want to do a player intrusion.
Okay.
I want to spend an XP so little Z rides on Taiwu during this whole thing and enjoys it.
That's fine, but I just want everybody to know his name is Lil Z.
Lil Z, I'm
Little
sorry.
Z.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I come from a different part of the country as you.
Okay. Yeah, so Zenith, are you okay with that?
I had two.
I mean, it's an intrusion, so I can't not. You have
That's
two?
true.
Well, here's what I was thinking. I was either going to pay to cause. I hate to do it, to cause Pretty to explode. Because it's going to happen at some point, right? I gotta know.
Well, hey, you never know, right?
See, but that's just it. We have these mechanics, and I'd rather Tai Wu to suffer the pain and the loss now when he's stuck up for it than for it to come later after we get emotionally attached to this creature.
Nah, see, I like the latter much better.
I know you do.
I want y'all invested in this thing before it dies. See, now this is the part where y'all are apprehensive, but y'all get won over by its love. And only after that, much like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and Auntie, where they're scared of Auntie at first, but then they come to love Auntie. And then the scorpion fucking kills it.
Pruitt. Oh,
anyway,
gosh. Yeah, man, don't. Now you're tearing open old
about
wounds.
that part till right now.
Yeah, I know, because everybody blocks it out like fucking Artex in the Never-Ending Story.
No, I embrace Artex. Like,
yeah. No, the
I have
story
an
behind
Artex
that
birthday cake, just sinking into the cake.
A chocolate cake with a horse half buried into it.
Artex, you're sinking.
I made myself watch that scene until it didn't make me cry.
Hey, I want you to know that was my first introduction into death as a child. I was completely traumatized.
I was destroyed. And then I watched it the next day, and I watched it the next day, and the next day, and eventually it helped. Anyway, so
I just want to put it on the table that there was a good chance I was going to stab that thing in the night and just explode it. Just know that that's because I know that this could hurt. With that said, then here's how I will do the intrusion.
Okay.
It's going to be the most joyous ride that Tai Wu ever experienced. That's all it is. I want him to have the best ride possible, and I want him to enjoy it. And Lil Z stays with Zenith, and it's just a happy time where we all feel really good. So this way, when we hurt later, everyone cries.
Yeah, so as Tai Wu mounts Pretty, the momentum after the slight adjustment carries you out of this little alcove into the deep, into the fall itself, into the nothingness. And Tai Wu, you see Pretty just take off, and you begin rocketing forward, and it begins to fly around and change course. And all the while, you hear it up there like chewing almost. And you can start to feel its sides become more and more deflated. And then it's like it continues to chew and like swallow something, and then you feel its sides kind of expand a little bit. And as it has stored wires and whatever in its cheeks like a chipmunk, and this is how they continue to fly, it looks like. And it begins to fly up and just kind of zip around. You do a couple of barrel rolls, you do a nice figure eight, and you come back up, and you hear Tai Wu out there just having the time of his life. And so, you back at the skiff. What are y'all doing? Are y'all preparing to depart? Are y'all going to go check that door out that you saw yesterday?
Yes. I want to see the door.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, do you all want to climb, or do you want to take the skiff out and over?
I'm willing to climb.
I mean,
I'm good at it.
Zenith wants to take the skiff because he's terrible at climbing.
Zenith onto my back.
You sure? I mean,
yeah.
Must be heavily.
In fact, I'm gonna turn you around so it's like an awkward harness where we're face to face, lips brushing lips, mustaches tickling each other.
I mean, I must have 80 pounds on you.
Tandem climbing gear.
Yes. We're gonna Princess Bride down.
Okay.
I'm only going through people.
As you wish, Beth. As you wish.
But what he really meant was, I love you, Grandpa Pruitt.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
I tell you what, because are you trained, or are you specialize in climbing, Bass?
I think I'm specialized. No, I'm trained in climbing. I can double check.
Okay.
But
I mean, y'all do have some rope on the skiff. I mean, it's just part of the gear there, so that's an asset. And I would say that just the walls themselves, since they are not smooth and perfect, they're just, piecemeal scrap put in there. That would count as an asset also. And like I said, it's pretty much a horizontal climb. You're not having to actually ascend or descend really at all. It's just about a couple of 100 yards around the wall. And Taiwu is heading, I don't know, Taiwu is flying around, but y'all begin to climb. So go ahead. This is just regularly a level 4 climb check because it is pretty precarious and dangerous, but you do have some assets. So with the 2 assets you have, it's only level 2.
All right. I'm going to roll.
Am I actually on your back?
Yeah, I want to be carrying, even if it's a little harder. I'll add effort if I have to.
Okay, well, I will say if you have Zenith Dans on your back, then one of your assets is gone. So
okay, I'm good with
well,
that.
Actually,
I rolled a nat 20.
okay.
This is the player intrusion where this is the right of Zenith's life.
Okay.
Yes. Well, and I forgot Zenith has a hurt sholdder, so he can't.
Yeah, I want this to be reminiscent of when you were in the womb.
Yeah. So here's the thing.
Upside down.
Floating around on Bass. Motherly.
Yeah, so basically, this is what happens. Bass has the rope and he kind of slings a little a grappling hook out there, and instead of climbing, he's just like fuck it, and he just swings. And Zenith, you weren't prepared for this, but like Spider-Man and you're Mary Jane hanging on, and Zenith clinging for life. Bass swings out, and you manage to get pretty much like 3/4 of the way there in just like one swing. Taiwu, you see this. You can definitely hear Zenith scream, I would assume. But yeah,
He's so scared he couldn't even scream. He's too busy clutching on Bass's larynx.
Gotcha.
He clutches his breasts for dear life. Yes.
Zenith's are mine.
He's Bass's.
Because I was going to say I have a high.
One hand on Bass and one hand on Zenith for.
Because I have high firm man breasts. Like
high and firm.
Yes, I
Zenith
do.
has the opposite of that.
I know. I can feel them.
I'm sorry.
We killed Trey.
Oh no, Trey!
It's just like man breasts. I'm fucking out of here.
Yeah, like we haven't killed Trey. He's just still staring at you, Grant. Like
WTF.
Okay. Well, in that case, yeah, y'all managed to. We lost Trey.
I know.
We'll get him back here in a second. We'll see. I can't wait to see how the. Hey, I didn't get messed up at all. Sweet.
No.
Hey, that's pretty easy
You
fix
just
for you.
got double Emma. Yeah,
Emma will be playing Zenith and Taiwu now.
Sure.
So if you lean left, Emma, you're Taiwu. If you lean right, you're Zenith.
I'll stretch her out a little. Woo.
Oh, that's great.
I have never ending story music stuck in my head now.
What, did you just watch Stranger Things season 3?
Well, I watched it. I enjoyed it.
Turn around. Sorry.
Fly a fantasy.
Close your eyes. Sorry. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to break into it. Give me. No, you don't have to give me that. Y'all managed to scamper over to the door. Because I'm sorry, that was a 20.
I wouldn't mind an intrusion, but
Yeah.
my major
it's
effect. Yeah.
So you managed to swing around, and then you clamber.
Emma, why don't you tell Pruitt what your intrusion was, your player intrusion? She just spent an XP.
I can't say it.
She did. She typed it. It's kind of like when I tried to X-card my own thing. This is in reality now.
Did you type something to Grant specifically?
Yes, the intrusion is Zenith's fear boner.
He made a mistake.
Zenith has a fear boner right now.
Everybody, and then somebody else can read it because I'm a nice lady.
Yeah. The player intrusion from Zenith Dan's is Zenith has a fear boner.
What?
Welcome back, Trey.
All right, Trey, you're just rejoining us as...
Apologize, there's a storm and I heard fear boner. I'm like, what? Hold up, wait, slow.
Yeah, hey, Adventuring is hard, okay? And so, anyway.
So is Zenith.
So is Zenith. So basically, Bass decided to swing like Spider-Man. He like threw a grappling hook out and swung around with Zenith. If Bass is Spider-Man, Zenith is Mary Jane. And decided to Spider-Man swing out around, catch the wall, and clamber on over to the door. But doing so apparently gave Zenith a fear boner. So here's the thing, though, is this, I'm going to say that this is up to Bass how you receive the fear boner, because you're obviously going to know about the fear boner. Well, unless you don't, but Zenith, that's up to you. So, I mean, you're adventurers, and I would hate for anything to come between you. That's all I'm saying. So,
I don't know what we're afraid of. Nothing would change if we made. No. I'm not gonna. I'm a professional. Sometimes this happens. Bass was an amateur wrestler in college and high school.
Oh, yeah.
Rolling around on those mats. Sorry. Biggest jerk in school. Had to survive with the nickname Woody for 4 years. Sorry, that jerk. I don't teach him. Okay, so here, see, because like the inclination was just like, oh, I just lean in and give him a smooch, but I'm not going to. I'm going to endure the player intrusion, and we'll bring it up later. Now's not the time. We're doing delicate work.
Yeah. Hey, you know, when the history of this game is written and they say, what did the players do? Why did they never level up? I'll be like, well, they spent all their XP on fart squirrels and fear boners. So.
But the game perfectly supports perpetual tier 1 play.
Hey, you know, shenanigans is another way to level up in a game. And there's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, you managed to get to the door. You find a nice little handhold there, Bass, to cling to the wall, like right next to this door. It's getting a little more difficult the closer to the door you get. Like I said, like the area of the wall around the door is more solidly built, more completely built. And Bass, you like this is kind of your purview. You're right up here. Give me a if you have anything to do with like observing construction or Numenera or anything like that.
I have an inability with Numenera. All
okay.
Numenera.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep the same flex skill that I had, so I can do.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean, both of you are right there, and you can see this. It's just kind of like seeing the construction of this wall as it kind of merges to where the door is. You would just notice, like, it becomes all like not completely flawless like the wall above, but it gets pretty close, and it's like almost fluid to go from like random scrap piecemealed up to just smooth wall into this door.
Yeah, so I got an 18 to recognize it.
Yeah,
if there's anything specific.
Well, you would just know, like, whatever made this, like, there's obviously a decision being made somewhere on how much effort is put into constructing this wall. This isn't like a separate thing that was put in later. This is all part of the same thing. It looks like it was probably built at the same time, but where the wall around is rough and just it's there and it's done, but everything's not reconstructed too much. This part is like an actual wall and a room beyond. There's something beyond this door.
Let us open the door.
Okay. It's much like the door above. You don't see an actual handle. Just to the right of the door itself is one of those black rectangular pads with an outline of a hand.
I'll place my hand on it to see what happens. How much damage do I take?
Much like the door that y'all tried above, there's like kind of a scan that kind of runs down and back up, and then it flashes red around the hand. Same as it did above.
We need the hand.
Who has the hand?
I've been holding on to the hand.
Well, then there's an arm in your backpack right now.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah.
Okay. It might not be the first time that's happened.
So you certainly won't be the last. Okay, so you lend Bass a hand, the hand of Lieutenant Alvarez, apparently, and y'all put it up there. Okay, you do that, and Taiwu, you're kind of are you heading over there, or are you still just having fun flying around?
Yeah, he's heading over more to show it off than to be really part of anything. But yes, he's heading in that direction. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you basically hear Taiwu like call in to see if they can buzz the tower, and then Taiwu buzzes y'all, loops back around. As Bass, as you kind of put the hand up, scans, and it turns green, and it has a much happier chime. And then you hear, and the door cracks open.
That was a pretty good door opening sound. I'm going to try to get through the door.
Okay. Yeah, you reach up and swing the door open. And you look inside the door. Monk, chill out. You look inside the door. And beyond the door, it is dark. There's a metal grate as the flooring. But as you swing the door open, much like you don't recognize this because you haven't seen it, but Zenith, you have been in one of these rooms before. Everything was gutted out of it. All the technology Numenera had long since been scavenged and scrapped out. So, but you look in, and along the ground, lights begin to flicker on. You know, just at first they kind of sputter, but then you hear a buzz, and they line up, and this continues on deeper inside this hallway from the door. On either side, you now see as the lights come up, inside is probably about 20 feet wide. It's a room but it extends on into the wall. You think maybe about 30 or 40 feet. On each wall, as you come in, you can see an angled screen, and on the wall is like a computer terminal, and those screens pop open and turn on. Uh-oh. And then as the lights continue to turn on inside, you then see on either side of the wall itself, you see more doors. There are 5 total, 3 on the left, 2 on the right. But they are green doors, much the same as the one you just opened here. But they're along the walls as you go deeper into this room. And it looks and feels, Bass, like you've been into many new, like, dark places. You know, you've been into musty tombs and things like that. This room was completely sealed. And you can just tell, like, the air in here, it's not even stale. It's just like there wasn't any. Yeah. And now that you've opened it, it's like breaking a seal. You can hear and feel the air filling up in here, and it's clean and crisp. As whatever mechanisms are now turned on by y'all's presence, and this whole room is now, you know, completely fine to be in. And you see, like I said, there are 3 doors on the left, 2 on the right. Computer terminal on either side.
Zenith recites all of that verbatim into his communicator, and
yeah, you're just mumbling, you know.
Just mumbling as far as the angled screen.
Yeah, and Zenith, you would tell, like, the basic setup is the same. The amount of doors on either side is different. I believe the one you had before, there were only like 4 doors. This one, like I said, there's 3 on the left, 2 on the right.
All right. Everybody, this was the one that I was in before. Was this the one that I was in before when it was all broken down with the kids, or was this before when I did it that time?
Oh, no. All I meant was, yeah, the room that you went into that the kids were at and all that, yeah. Like the basic structure seems to be very similar, but that was like all the computers and everything was gutted, the doors were ripped open, and everything. Whereas this is pristine and untouched from you're not sure how long ago.
All right. I'll explain that to everybody. I was in one of these much higher up. There were children. They had jumpsuits, and everything was scavenged. There was nothing really here. This appears to be pristine. I would like to access one of the computer terminals.
Okay. So you go into the left or the right computer terminal?
Left.
Okay.
Always the left, Pruitt.
Always the left. I
left
agree.
wall.
All right. So you go to the computer terminal. What do you want to do there? You want to access that Numenera?
I want to access that Numenera. I want to know everything.
Is anyone else helping you, or is this just you? I only say that because I just want to make sure everybody in the party that has that's trained in dealing with Numenera might want to help out.
Yeah, once Tawu saw that everybody's kind of like gone into this area, he's gonna actually steer pretty towards the door so that he can be somewhat helpful.
Okay. Yeah, you get near the door. Pretty manages to get by there and kind of literally just kind of floats up and just kind of grabs onto the door frame as the doors open, and so you can just kind of see in as Bass and Zenith are both in there, and like I described the scene, you see green light kind of flooding in the room from these doors inside, and Zenith is going up to a computer terminal, starting to try to mess with it.
You stay here, Pitsy. I'll be back.
And it kind of lets out like a happy grunt and just kind of, you hop off of it and it just kind of floats around and kind of does a lazy little circle right in front of the doorway.
I lean close to Zenith's ear and go, is this the dark web? Sorry.
It's called the dark net, and no.
It's further down. We're not there. You're not there yet.
Out of sheer curiosity of just the green light, Tawu is going to enter, and then if he sees anybody that he recognizes, he's going to head towards him and ask what's going on. We'll see what the adults are doing.
Okay. Well, like I said, you go in this room. It's about 20 feet wide. It extends in about 40 feet. 3 doors on the left, 2 on the right. There's a computer terminal on either side before you can get to the doors. And Zenith is the one on the left. So it's, like I said, it's not that big of a room, but these doors, they open up to something. You're not sure what, though.
I want to help. Zenith, can I help? I want to help.
Yes, I'm looking for information on schematics. That's my primary goal. And my secondary goal is personnel/cultural information.
Can y'all hang out for a second? Monk is like losing his shit out here.
100%.
I need to go see what's going on.
Yeah, of course.
We're all silent. I think I know when Pretty goes, I know the way Pretty has to go. I think it's that little Z needs to explode Pretty.
I think we need to breed them together and make a mutant hybrid.
Oh God, no.
That's my mad science.
Okay, did I just walk into a conversation about Lil Z and Pretty getting together?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Life finds a way.
Z.
I slowly go from Patrick Stewart to Jeff Goldblum over the course of the series. Gotta breed these 2 animals.
All right. So you're trying to access that computer panel, and Taiwo, you're assisting.
Yes.
Okay, so that will give you an asset.
Okay.
So,
What level is it?
this is going to be starting a level 6 task.
Ooh.
because again, while you do have access, as you start, it's one of those things where you are checking on like things you can actually check on, and some things require like a password, some don't. Mm-hmm. So that's more of what this is like trying to navigate what you can navigate without actually trying to figure out a password.
All right.
And then if you want to actually get into some hacking, that's going to be a higher level. But
I want to find everything I can get without a password so far.
Okay, yeah. So this is starting level 6.
Okay. So it's down to level 4 because I'm trained and I've got your help.
Yep.
Effort in. Right now, 3.
Okay. So it's a 9 or better.
9 or better. All right. I got 3.
Use XP to re-roll.
I could.
Hey, stop hoarding it over there. That's what it's there for. It's a fun game. Use all the parts.
What if I need to buy an XP house one day?
Well, you got a choice. You could advance the adventure, or you could stay there not figuring out the computer.
No, I'm going to try.
That's the fun part about the game.
I rolled a 1.
Can I use my? I have 1 XP left. Can I use it since I'm helping for the reroll?
Yeah, but something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, please do. Yeah, I was thinking, what I'd like to do is like lean across and have like my man boob like brush Zenith's cheek. And,
Your high and firm man boob.
Yes, and I'm gonna punch in the numbers. I'm gonna do this first try. Oh, I need an 18 or higher. Well, I probably could. I got some effort, but I have an ability, so it won't matter.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I'm standing next to it too. This is gonna be
It's a Unix system.
I know this. Okay, let me shuffle my intrusion deck once. Hold on.
Eyebrows raised.
That's just absolutely beautiful. So yeah, you're sitting there like typing stuff in, and you keep getting like, oh, password required, and you start trying to back out, but all of a sudden you realize you're like in one of those like loops where you can't get out of the section of the program you're in, and it triggers it's one of those things where the computer panel goes from green to red, and it like locks you out of the system. All of the doors flash and they all turn red as you hear them like lock and lock. There's some sparks.
I take Zenith's recorder and I'm like, yeah, and then I just start punching random buttons on the computer and locked us all out forever, and we're gonna die. Hand it back to him.
At the first immediate sound of known danger, Taiwu's basic instincts is to run and hide.
Okay.
So he's going to. I'm assuming these walls are still metal. So
Yep.
he's going to hop on the wall and climb as high to the ceiling as possible, and just kind of like stay there.
Yeah,
how high are these things? I know we're 10 by 20, but how high is the?
Well, the room is 20 wide, 40 deep. And the ceiling, though, I mean, it's a box of a room. There's not a lot of wasted space here, so the ceiling is only about 10 feet high.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. It's still off the ground.
Okay.
Here's what I want to see. We'll see if we can do this. So this is how I want to try to deal with this. My intent is to bypass whatever lockdown there is. Mm-hmm. And reset it. I know this might even be like a task difficulty 7 or something like that, but yeah. I'm willing to go as deep in as I need to. If possible, I'd like to spend 2 XP for a short-term effect. Like maybe there's a menu, or there's it's one of those things you like pop up a panel and there's like serial number underneath. I'm trying to get an asset essentially.
Yeah, you're trying to get an asset.
If not, it's fine. I'll use XP to reroll.
You managed to actually get it to a screen where it says it's basically asking for Lieutenant Alvarez's mission password.
Okay.
Mission specific password.
Okay. Here's what I'd like to do. I'm going to try to rely on my methods of abstraction from all those advanced mathematical theories that I had.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to abstract what the specific mission password would be from everything I know about these sort of types.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really going to kind of be a blind guess, but I'm going to spend double effort and give it my best shot.
Okay. Yeah, you're sitting there, you're gold blooming, right? Mathematical formulae are flashing across your vision in your mind's eye. And it's odd the way what it's asking for. It says mission specific password, not what is your password, but your mission specific.
Yes.
And that's when you look over and like Zenith has this freaking arm with the sleeve and it's got the mission patch like right there.
It's just I have it around my shoulder like we're friends.
Yeah.
So spending double effort and spending experience to get an asset, I rolled an 18.
Okay. Yeah. You basically like Bass, you're sitting there and it dawns on you. And like you look over at that arm again and you realize that the very edge of the mission patch is kind of sticking up a bit. And you just lift it and you hear a shh of a sound you've never heard before as this thing was stuck fast, but it peels right away. And there's some kind of material that allows it to stick from one to the other. And as you lift it up, you realize there's a string of letters and numbers on the back side of his mission patch.
I'm going to input it.
And that's where you're like, oh, well, duh. And it's just like literally it's like Velcroed on, but it's not Velcro. Like you don't feel anything. It's just stuck to the sleeve. But and you type this thing in. And sure enough, the red alarm goes away. It completely goes away, and a completely different desktop screen kind of comes up with a bunch of different icons. And there are, there's something for like, energy output. Looks like, stasis chambers, and then it says stasis chambers, and in parentheses 5. And
I open Minesweeper and start clicking through it. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, you click on Minesweeper and you see where all the mines are buried in the walls in this area.
You gotta flag them first.
That's not a joke. I'm being serious when I say that.
No, that's cool. Yeah, but so I'm looking
sometimes
through.
A joke can lead to something fun. But yeah, this is when you like realize like there is very, very basic functions for this room: life support, lighting, power usage, things like that. And then the only other icon on there is the one that just says kind of stasis chambers and has in parentheses 5. But it seems like you have unlocked deeper access to this room.
I turn to Zenith, and then I snatch the recorder back and go, and boss totally saved the day, and then hand it back.
Is it safe to come down now?
Yes, Taiwu, but tread very lightly. Zenith stress eats.
Taiwu's going to decide to just stay on the ceiling and just observe from above.
Stasis chambers.
Yeah.
Stasis chambers. There's 5. How many doors are in here? 5?
3 on the left, 4 on the 3 on the left, 2 on the right.
Zenith runs up to one of the doors and gets right up close to it, hands on the glass, and looks in.
It's much like it's like almost an exact replica of the door up front. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing is it has panels of kind of a frosted crystal, but it's the green glow just kind of you think you see something, but you're not sure what it is.
Oh no, it might not be. Sorry, I was thinking it might be like people's, but what if it's monsters? So it's like, wait, I'm so anxious to get these doors.
No, open just one.
It just suddenly becomes like, what is it? It's that movie, Cabin in the Woods. It's like this is going to be all the horrible monsters underground.
It's going to be a ballerina with a big face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that would be great.
No. Zenith explains what's happening into his communicator. And Bass, do you need me to operate this at this point? Or...
Yes, as long as you don't do that thing that you did before where you nearly got us all killed. You scared the boy.
What?
You scared Taiwu. Apologize.
He's still on the ceiling. I mean...
Yeah, you gotta help him. You talk him down. You need to regain his trust.
Honestly, maybe he should be on the ceiling. Maybe that would be best.
Or maybe we put you on the ceiling next time. See how you like it up there.
That's not how I work.
While in the middle of their arguing, Taiwu is going to wall climb towards one of the closer
Stasis chambers.
The one that's by, I guess the one that has two of them.
Mm-hmm.
And lower himself, almost Spider-Man like, to get a closer look to see what's in it. Am I able to see anything?
It's the same thing. It's like they're the kind of the frosted crystal that are the only spaces that you could see through that aren't metal on the door. Mm-hmm. The way the green glow from inside the chambers hits it, like it just washes it out, and you can't really make any detail, but you think there's something inside there. Like there are some weird shadows at play, but can't make out any solid details though.
It could be another friend.
Are there handles?
What?
Buttons or handles or any kind of latches or switches to the stasis chambers?
Nope. I mean, nothing that you can see. Like it's the same thing where the door is completely smooth. There's no handle to it. There's not even like one of those hand pads like outside. It's just door flush with the wall. But Zenith is at the computer terminal, and there is an icon that says stasis chambers.
Yes. I'm going to click on the icon that says stasis chambers.
Okay. It brings up another screen that has basically kind of like a grid work, and looks like medical data readout, things like that. And there are 5 names that are kind of splayed across, and it's like, Foster, Macklin, Roker, Lattimore, Benson, and you like look over at their corresponding, like medical data and stuff like that. And only one of them is active. The others, like, there's no, it's like you see like something that says like pulse, and it's just like a line that's going across, and there's whatever, but like on the one that says Lattimore, there's an erratic like pulse. It's not steady or anything. You're not really quite sure what to make of it. But it's stasis chamber 3. It's the last one on the left. But it seems like the other 4 are not alive. But you definitely see on the far right of the screen on each one of those, you see a button on there that you can click that says release.
Are we going to open it?
I think we should open the dormant ones first.
I think we should open the door. Wait, what is dormant?
Dormant, the ones that don't have any lines that are moving. We should.
Yes, open it.
Yes, the ones that seem inactive. I'd like to open one of those first. I'm going to go for number 5.
The very last one. Okay. Yeah, you click on the one that says Benson, and you click release, and it's actually the one that's in front of Taiwu. That Taiwu is in front of right now, and same thing. There's a hiss, and it opens up. And Taiwu, you don't notice anything at all, really. Okay. Everyone else, after a few seconds, you definitely start to have the smell of decay. And the door opens, and fog kind of drifts down as the chamber kind of clears out. And Taiwu, you see a person, humanoid. Their flesh is still attached to their bones, but they are not alive. And you're not sure how long they've been here. You've never seen something that has been decayed yet kept in stasis for you're not sure how long. but there is still like an odd tight flesh on the bones here. But it's wearing a definite zip-up kind of a jumpsuit that's blue. It looks very much like the sleeve that Zenith has on his back, except it's the full jumpsuit. And now you know what the jumpsuit that Zenith was wearing to fly around looks like, but not all old. But yeah, definitely there's a person in here, and they have the same mission patch on their shoulder, and above their kind of their right chest here, there's just a simple label that just says Benson on it.
Taiwu is going to lower himself to the ground and immediately check the pockets.
You're gonna check the pockets?
Yeah, with his tendrils, not with his hand.
Okay. Hang on a second. Screw that. I should have gotten my cards ready. All right. Roll me a d6.
Okay. A 2? I hope that helps.
Okay. Yeah, you rifle around. There's not a lot there. You managed to find one little item in this person's pocket. Hang on a second. Cut that bad boy. You find yeah, you find a small it looks kind of like a gun to the player Trey, not to Taiwu, but there's a handle to it, and it has about a 3 or 4 inch extension. It looks, I mean, it's basically what this looks like is a very small version of like Batman's grappling gun. You basically found a cable projector. It's a level 5 cipher, and it can project a cable or rope attached to a powerful spike up to long range. It embeds itself solidly in most surfaces, and it can retract the rope later or pull it extremely taut. It can spike into a surface so that the rope attaches to something solid on both ends also. So you can make like a zip line. So yeah, you can basically like use this thing once to use it like Batman's grappling hook. Okay. And that was like kind of in a utility pocket on his side.
Taiwu is going to keep it and not tell anybody that he has it.
Okay. So yeah, y'all see Taiwu open this thing and stand there for a minute. Anybody else?
Dead.
Zenith's obsession for the day is to find out everything. So if he confirms that there's something dead in there, which he thought might be the case, he's going to open up the rest of the dead ones first before he gets to Lattimore.
Okay, yeah, so you open up Foster, Macklin, and Rokers, and yeah, it's the same thing. Looks like Foster and Macklin were female. You do start to notice on their blue, like kind of coveralls, they do have varying colors kind of at the edges. Kind of the trim of the jumpsuits have a different color. Foster and Macklin are blue. Like it's basically like a dark blue stripe on the kind of lighter sky blue coverall. Benson is red, and Roker is gold.
All right. I'm gonna open this one. Lattimore. Is there anything else to find?
Well, I mean, do you actually search each of the 4 that you open, or do you just look in there?
And Zenith would search them.
Okay, well that's a whole different thing then. Give me a general like perception or search roll just for the whole thing.
I'm trained in perception.
Okay.
I rolled a 16.
16? you managed to find 3 more pieces of technology or ciphers as you kind of search around through here. And let's go ahead and cut it and up. All right. Okay. In Foster stuff, you find these 2 little discs. They kind of flash together in coordination. You think that there's some kind of either communication or something. But yeah, they basically, when you activate this, there are 2 discs. Actually, screw that. You searched around. There are 4 discs from the 4 that you searched. And when you actually activate these, 4 of you can talk for basically a day, like without any between distance barrier. They are little temporary communication discs, but they will run out of power. And so you find that. You find another piece of technology. You're not quite sure what it does right now, but you can search later into it. You think it has something to do with like computers and wireless hacking, but you're not quite sure. But I will keep that to the side. Wow. One of them you find is a small little screen. It looks like some kind of detector. And so those are the 3 things that you find. You find the communication devices, some kind of like hacking thing, and then some kind of detector.
Great. Yes.
But other than that, it's the same thing. All of them are wearing these coveralls that are in pretty much perfect condition. And you can definitely see, like, looking at them, like the thing that you have, that's the suit. This is the same thing. The suit that you have looks like it's like centuries old, whereas what they're wearing is basically new and untouched.
Okay. Well, Zenith will look at Boss and Tymoon. You ready? Boss, you might have somebody to talk to.
They smell funny. Let's go.
Boss clears his throat, applies lip balm, and cracks his knuckles. All right.
Boop.
Prude's gonna draw from the creature deck. It's just like, level 9.
Oh no! I have a very specific page here lined up. So I told you I spent 2.5 hours making a shitload of tables, and goddamn it, I used them. And everything from tonight's adventure, I rolled 2 minutes before we played. And like seriously, everything on here is on one piece of paper from all of my rolls.
This is my favorite setting, and some people be like, but I was like, you don't understand. I love procedurally generated exploration.
Well, I found. I mean, there's stuff that y'all haven't found because you went different ways, but you know, I was just like, this is this way, that's that way, this is this way.
We had a bloater to tame.
Yeah, you had a bloater to tame. If you'd have gone like the other, anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, so this last chamber, the one that's marked Lattimore. What are y'all doing? Are you just popping it open? Are y'all getting into position? Like, let me know what the dealio is.
I'm preparing myself as Zenith ordered me as our leader of this expedition that I must be prepared to talk. So I'm putting myself directly in what is known colloquially as harm's way. I'm standing right in harm's way.
So you're standing right in front of the door.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Because that's what I would do, not knowing what comes out.
Where are Stevie and Tomlinson?
Timmet?
Yeah. Timmet Tompkin.
One of them decided to stay with the skiff. Timmet's with the skiff since y'all decided to leave it, and Stevie is now he was climbing over as y'all were doing all this shit. Excuse me. And he is now like kind of at the door and looking around like, and like he's just kind of at the door in shock, actually, like looking at this room that's like a technological marvel compared to what any of y'all have really ever seen. Maybe Bass has seen some stuff like this, sealed off, hermetically sealed, and hasn't seen the world in who knows how long. But yeah, he seems a little overwhelmed, but he's there.
Stevie to arm himself.
Okay. Do you say that to him? Like you like, hey, get your gun, get your stuff ready? Yeah, he kind of yes sir. And he kind of pulls out like a baton, like an asp, pops it out.
I'm gonna stow the arm in my backpack before I open this as well.
Okay.
That might be a little, if there is a person in there, might be a little jarring to see their friend's arm around my neck.
It just might be.
Tai Wu is not for the conflict, so he will be still on the ceiling. He's gonna Spider-Man crawl back up to the ceiling and get as far away from that door as humanly possible.
Okay. So you're as far away from it as humanly possible. So you're back in the corner of the room by the front door.
Yes.
Okay, so you're back in the corner, in the right corner, because it's the last door on the left. So yeah, you're about a short distance away from this thing. Okay. Just so you know.
Okay.
Bass is standing right in front of it. Stevie kind of walks up very shakily and gets right next to you, Bass. But he kind of holds his baton behind him, not like brandishing it like a weapon, but just keeping it ready.
I order him to stand down. No, I'm kidding.
You're not going to need that. We'll be fine.
Your weapons, you will not need them.
Who cares? Okay.
Zenith, take the wheel.
So, Zenith,
boop.
You hit the boot. There is a as the door opens. Bass, the first thing you notice is there is a mechanical smell. It's not like a hermetically sealed chamber. The odor that comes out of here there's a smell of flesh, but there's something of industry, of things being worked. You've been in like a blacksmith or a tinkerer's office. The smell of oil, the smell of steel, of metal. All of these things assault you as this door kind of cracks open.
I listen.
You hear the whirring of like servos. You hear the movement of like hydraulics, and you also hear like a cough, like. Zenith, you're standing over there. You just hit release, but it's still displaying kind of like the information, and that random, spotty, like intermittent pulse kind of gets a little bit more stable, and then kind of goes jackhammer and a little like off. Bass, you hear just like what happened? What? And a hand kind of hits the door.
Did it.
A hand hits the door and starts pushing it open.
All right, I'm going to help open the door.
And Zenith, one thing you notice about the hand that's pushing the door open, it is part flesh and part steel. There are wires kind of pushing through the back of the hand. Some of the fingertips end in actual like jointed metal, like almost like a gauntlet on top of flesh, as there has been some kind of like metal infused with flesh inside this chamber. And you can tell, like looking in here, this isn't the way this thing was built. You looked at every one of these other chambers, and they're immaculate. They're stasis chambers. But something has happened in here, and there are like there are wires coming out of the walls into this person as all of the smoke and fog kind of diffuse out into the room. And you see him open an eye, because he only has one eye to open. The other eye is some kind of like display with like a sensor on it, and you see like a pulsing red light behind it, and he looks up at you, one hand on the door, and he raises the other hand that ends in what can only be described as a barrel.
All right, I'm
We're
going
gonna
to
roll initiative.
I was going to try to worm one of my abilities in there because the timing is very important on it.
Well, if you go first.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and roll initiative. So
I'm going to die.
you're not gonna die. Maybe you'll just get
Well, no,
shot.
I'm using. So, cool. I'll probably go first. So, applying effort, and I rolled a 17, so that would make it like a 20.
Okay, so you're a 20.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me see. I rolled a 6.
You rolled a 6. Okay.
10 for me.
10 for you. Okay, so the order is going to be Bass, me as this cyborg. Cyborg. Then it is Emma, Zenith goes after that, and then it is Stevie, and then Taiwu.
All right.
Bass, what are you doing first? As like this thing kind of looks up and he's like, "What's happened?" And he pushes the door open and he's bringing a barrel to.
I'm applying. Yeah, I'm applying. I'm activating my ability, Demeanor of Command. Strangers who are not engaged in combat with me, meaning they have not yet attacked me, automatically recognize me as a person of importance, charisma, and authority. And I gain a bonus level of effort to a persuasion task that I attempt to make this round. And then essentially what I'm going to explain is, soldier, new set of orders have come in, and we need your help. And I'm going to try to essentially trick the Winter Soldier into accepting me as a commanding officer for this moment.
So would you consider that, is this like a mental, I don't want to use the word attack, but
this is an attack, and it's essentially what this is. It's going to be a persuasion skill. That's how I see it. It's not like a magical ability. It's definitely intellect.
Oh yeah, that's what. Okay.
Oh, good. This is going to be great. Where it's like it's immune to all intellect related.
No, it's a little tougher with the intellect because of the,
totally cool. So
from the integration. So this will be a level 6 task to try to convince this thing. It does look like it is intending. It has hostile intent.
And I don't blame it. It should. It's just doing its job, and I appreciate it. This is why I love Cypher too, and like for the audience, like this is like the meat and mechanics of the system. So it's a level 6, so I need to roll an 18 or higher. But watch how Boss works. So I'm specialized in persuasion tasks, so that will reduce it to a 4. I'm going to spend double effort, and I have 2 edge and 2 effort, so that should reduce it. And I get a free level of effort because I'm using Demeanor of Command. So what am I at? I'm down to 1. That's like the coolest thing in the world for me, just like the system supports that. But it only really works for Bass. But sorry, I just got to tell the audience, when I tried to mess with computers, the numbers were going up to like 21, 25, 26, and it's like, I'll never be able to get it. But
you're a people person.
But we did by spending other mechanics that the game gave us. So I'm going to roll. I got a 13.
13? Okay, so what are you trying to tell him?
Essentially, soldier, there's a new set of orders. We are joining him as crew members, and he shall come with us and to cease attack. I know that's a lot there. The main goal is to not engage us in combat and to join us.
Okay. All right.
Fight with us, not against us.
Yeah, you did succeed at that. So he doesn't continue to raise this limb that ends in some kind of weapon. I mean, it has a barrel at the end. It doesn't have a hand. So you know it's a weapon. But he kind of stops, and you see his one eye blinking and the other one kind of flickering. And this is when you really see, like, he's wearing an Aru like a Aru team jumper, right? And these metal wires and pieces are sticking through his jumper and like protruding out from it. And this is when you notice like he's standing in a puddle of this weird, it's almost like mercury, like this shimmering metallic form. And he's just standing in it. And it's not that deep. It's only probably a couple of millimeters, but it is there. And you do notice it as he kind of shifts. There's like a ripple in it, that it's obviously like some kind of metallic fluid, like a ferrous fluid or something like that. So I'm just giving you what you see as your words are getting through, and he's like, trying to process them. But I will say for his turn right now, he doesn't really do anything. He lowers his gun. He's still standing there, and he's just like blinking through it, and like you see him shaking his head and just like looking around, and he finally like looks at his hands. Bass. And this is when you see like in his one human eye, like his eye goes wide, and he looks at his hand, and then he looks at the other hand and looks at you and just like, what happened? What happened? What happened? And he like is now, and we're going to cut over to you, Emma. Zenith, it is your turn, and you can see like his stats, his basically his readout from his telemetry basically is going nuts. It's all over the place. His heart rate is just like a jackhammer. If you could actually, us as people would know his pulse right now is probably like 220 over 150, which means his head's about to pop. But you can just tell like there's something very erratic going on with him.
Yeah.
So what would you like to do?
I think he's going to run over and he's going to do his best to try to calm this thing down. He's going to try to talk to it like a kid who's having a tantrum.
Sorry, I just imagine Zenith pulls out the recorder and just like, tell us the secrets. Tell us what you know. Sorry.
Uh-huh.
Zenith is much nicer than that.
Well, actually, he does have something. He's gonna actually pull out a Numenera that he's going to use if this doesn't work. But yes, he's gonna try to just get it calm. He's gonna sort of babble back to Bass that he's like he seems really erratic.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what cipher are you using?
I'm not sure if I want to use it yet. Because then if I use it now, I won't have it later.
Well, I mean, you can hold it for.
I'm gonna use it. It's a thing.
Okay.
It's a thing.
I hope so.
Let me see if I think I can use it. I need to get it. No. Shit, it takes 10 minutes to use. I couldn't remember if it lasts 10 minutes or if it took 10 minutes. I can't use it right now. So I'm just gonna be like, hold on, a lot more. Name and try to make
Okay, so you're trying to basically calm him down, use his name.
Yeah.
All right. Well, give me some kind of intellect roll, whether it's persuasion or I don't know if you have anything that affects that.
Got like no skills, no useful skills.
Okay.
But he will.
All right. Well, this will be a level 6 roll to try to affect his mood.
Okay. I will.
Placated for the moment. He's not like calm or anything. He's more like he literally is looking at his arms in horror.
Yeah.
Is the only way I can describe it.
He's just gonna say he's gonna try to get him to stop looking at his own arms. He's gonna say, "Lattimore, we can. We're all trying to figure this out."
Okay. Give me a roll. Are you doing any effort? Or
I am doing effort.
1 or 2? I don't know what you can do.
I can only do 1.
Okay, so that brings it to a 5. So you need a 15 or better.
Alrighty. 19.
19. Okay. You use his name. And using the name Lattimore, you see him kind of like snap up and look at you. And that eye goes from like horror and disbelief to like a focus and just it's something. And he's just looking at you straight in the face, and he's just like, and he just has his hands out like, what do I do? Stevie looks like he's about to shit his pants, and he actually like he's got his ass like behind Bass, so it's ready to strike, but he's holding it back, and he's kind of looking at Bass and looking at Zenith like what do I do? What do you want me to do, boss?
Hold.
Okay. Oh, okay. Taiwu.
Yeah, you said something that is going to make Taiwu forget about all of this drama and think about one thing and one thing only. What is that metallic liquid that is? It looks valuable. It looks like I can touch it. Taiwu's going to call towards that metal liquid. He's still on the ceiling above in the furthest corner away from him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to pull it towards him and hopefully pull it underneath him so that he's still, on the wall above it so that he can get a closer look at it. If it is metallic.
Oh, okay. So you're going to reach out with your magnetism?
Yes.
And try to lift it, basically.
All of it. Pull all, whatever that metal is, he wants to see what it is.
Okay, so you up there, Bass and Zenith, you both see, basically you just kind of, I don't know if there's any accompanying like atmospheric or just extra noises that are associated with Taiwu's power. I don't know if it it's one of those things where everything just kind of goes like all metal groans in your presence or whatever. But y'all can feel the pull, and you look down and you see this Bass. You see this metal that is filling up the bottom of this stasis chamber. And like I said, it's only a couple of millimeters deep, but you kind of see it kind of wave and pull forward almost like an ocean. And then all of a sudden it pulls up in a almost like it's being funneled up in the air into a fine point and a line. And Taiwu, you pull this metal up off the ground, and as it continues to extend and lift, Lattimore, he kind of like looks down and he sees this too, and he like watches it, and almost the entire puddle that he's standing in, it's lifted up and out of this stasis chamber, and it lifts up and across the room. Taiwu, I don't know what shape. I mean, if you have a general just like hold on it, it's just kind of form a loose like warbling ball of metal, and it's about about like a small orange, not quite a baseball. When it's all just kind of balled up, but it kind of wobbles with your magnetic embrace.
The first thing Taiwu would do is try to connect with it. Nothing else exists in the room anymore. Nothing but this pretty thing that's his carpet. And with the best of his ability, like how he uses his tendrils, he's going to try and touch it if he can. With his tendrils, he's going to try and touch it while it's still somewhat suspended. This is an absolute stupid thing to do, but this is exactly what Taiwu would do.
Okay, so your action was to pull it up to you, and that's what you're about to start doing. So we're going to come back around. Bass, we're back around to you. It appears that Lattimore is a bit more placated now that Zenith has come up and talked to him, and now this liquid metal that he was standing in is mostly gone. And Bass, I will say that you notice like that actually kind of you see him calm down a bit, where you can actually see him like gaining control now. as he's like looking around, he still looks terrified at, like he's looking mostly at Zenith, but every now and then he's still glancing down at his hands, but he comes back up because you can tell he doesn't even want to look at his own limbs. So what are you doing?
Yeah, I think I'm going to sing him a lullaby. It's the only thing I can think of. It's like when people are angry, they're going crazy, they might need a chill out song or something like that. Because, like, I'm going to be honest, Bass isn't a fighter. I have literally no combat skills. And I don't have very high stat pools in anything. So the only thing I can think of is to try to sit him down and try to calm him down and get him centered. So I think it's one of those things where, Bass is going to start. Yeah, I'm not going to necessarily sing. That's kind of the same emotional effect, though, the overtone. This is the lullaby scene. Or I'm going to speak to him very directly about who we are and where we came from and how we need his help specifically. Kind of the same way I gave Tai Wu the speech early on about how we really needed Tai Wu. I'm going to give the super soldier that could kill every one of us with his godlike powers the speech that we are on a sacred quest and we have gone deep and down below. We need their help. This is what they were born to do.
Okay. All right. So, all right, go ahead and give me another persuasion roll.
All right. So I'm specialized in persuasion, and I can't really use my demeanor of command anymore, but I can spend double effort. Helps that I have extra edge and this sort of thing. And my I have very low pools, and then there's my intellect pool. So 17.
Yep, this is a level 2 roll. So yeah, you.
I'm going all in. Why spend the effort?
Yeah, you seem to be hitting all the right notes, like literally hitting the right notes as you're telling him this and you're soothing him. And really, it does seem like his head is kind of clearing, and he drops his hands to his side. What's the? Are we still in the unit? Are we still in the recycling unit?
No. The situation has changed. You are now currently beneath Aru. And
we're under the recycling unit.
We are under. Aru is a recycling unit? Oh no. ARU.
It's a atmospheric recycling unit. We meant to help the environment here. So many wars, so much detritus and scrap and leftover pieces. This was meant. And you can tell he's like fighting a mental battle. But your words seem to be helping him. And he's like, there was a problem. I can't remember. And he finally like looks around. He's like, what? Stasis. How long?
I ask him what year does he think it is. What is today's date? What is the last date you remember?
That's the 24/5/26. The standard year was. It's the last I remember. What year is it?
Zenith? I figure you're the only one with like one of those old-timey watches to know what the actual date is. Bass doesn't believe in time.
He probably has it on his communicator thing. What is it?
Here's the problem. Y'all's form of timekeeping does not correspond to anything of what he just said.
Yeah, I think that's
He
important.
literally just said the year was 24,526 by the standard year. And y'all are somewhere in the 1220s.
Yeah, I was like,
by your own. There's a bit of academic discussion on what year it actually is, but y'all are somewhere in the 1220s by your own calendar.
I will tell him that that's about what the date is. It's not very helpful, but the suit I'm wearing used to be yours. Used to be one of yours. It's been a long time.
And at that, he looks at your suit, and his eyes go wide, as he looks at the general state condition of your suit. Yeah. And he begins to kind of breathe fast as and it looks like he's kind of losing a little bit of control. Taiwu, back to you. You have this ball of kind of undulating metal. I mean, you're controlling it just fine. It weighs literally next to nothing. You can tell just by the bare minimum of control you're having to exert to hold it there. What would you like to do? You said you wanted to reach out to it with your kind of your tendrils and start to. Okay. All right. So go ahead and give me a roll with your employee's magnetism ability. To just kind of let's see what happens here.
5?
You rolled a 5?
I rolled a 5.
Good times. So if you reach out with your tendrils, you have this metallic material, which when it goes out, you notice this ball of metal it's a different color, it's a different shimmer. But as your tendril reaches out to touch it, the tendril itself almost leaps out beyond your control to grasp onto this thing. And as it does, you see that ball of metal start to pull itself up the tendril, almost like an inchworm, grabbing that tendril and working its way back towards your hand. And you can definitely feel a struggle now. There is something that is now moving towards you at a great rate. So I'm going to need a defense roll here. If you want to try to use the metal of your, whether you want to use speed defense and just try to get out of the way, or try to use your actual employed magnetism to control this, I leave that up to you.
He would use because it's pulling on his tendrils, so the natural reaction would be to push away. So he would use push, in a panic more so. So it would probably just be like a panicked push. So it would probably be as strong as it could be.
Okay, well then, yeah, just just make an attack roll with your push ability then.
I'm gonna make an attack roll, and I'm gonna put a level of effort into it as well.
Okay, so just go ahead and add 3 to the whatever you roll.
Okay. 19, so that's a 22.
19. Okay, so that's also a minor effect. Okay, and so what happens here is as you're reaching out with your little probing tendrils, it grabs them and it starts basically pulling itself up the tendril towards your hand, and you see this and push out with your magnetism, and You throw it across the room, and it splats against the wall, like away from you. The only problem with that is that it does splat and land on Stevie. And he begins to scream and writhe as this metal works its way across his skin, and you see it work into his pores and work into his veins. And that is where we're going to leave off.
Oh, come on, man! Oh, it's about to get started. Oh.
Just about to get started, and then it's over. So that's that. Had some fun exploring, had some hiding, had some adventure. You made a new friend. Got a lot done tonight. I'm really loving my tables that I made here, and I can't wait to finish them because I've only finished 1/3. I have 3 separate 3D6 tables, and I've only completed 1 of them. So I can't wait to get back to this next week. Maybe Zinnia will wake up from her heat exhaustion just in the nick of time. Who knows what's going to happen with Stevie? We have a cyborg that's placated for the moment, but starting to freak out a little bit when he realizes that maybe he's been in stasis for over a millennia. Who knows? I don't know. We'll have to find out next week. So let's go around to cast and crew. We're going to do in reverse order like we always do. Starting with you, Trey, there at the end.
Man, this is my favorite episode. This is my favorite one so far, man.
Do you realize how much I wanted that to get on you? Do you realize how much I wanted that to get on you? I wanted it so. The fact that it happened the way it did, I didn't even have to do anything. You're just like, yeah, bring that over here. I'm like, so anyway, how was that? Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
I'm talking about great laughs, cool little add-ons, great chemistry. I mean, unexpected stuff. This was my favorite one so far, man. It's so much fun, and to be totally just engrossed in the character and just in the magical crew. I mean, I couldn't be happier, man. If I wish I had more thumbs. I am completely excited for next week, man. I'm sorry. Let me give my shout outs. This is Centel. So you can reach me on the Twitter sphere at Centel and also Instagram at Centel. I'm sorry, I'm just still kind of blown away. This was really good. This was fun. So you reach me on Twitter and also on Instagram. Please check out Lights, Camera, Discover, where we teach the filmmaking process to kids who may not have those particular opportunities. We travel, we do screenplays, we do camera work, acting, you name it, we teach it. So if you are interested, please check us out at lightscameradiscover.org. And man, I am looking forward to next week, man. Thank you.
I am as well. Emma, how are you? And what's going on?
My brain is exploding with possibilities and putting the connections together. Atmospheric recycling unit.
Yeah. Atmospheric recycling unit. Yeah, it's certainly that could be an acronym.
That might be an acronym. That might be. I'm scintillated and excited.
Yeah.
And confused.
Good.
And that is always the way you want to be. I have a very sneaking suspicion that we're going to have to explode something far underneath our city to save all our poor babies. And I'm very worried about that. But that's also wonderful if that's what comes to pass. But not for us. I'm Emma. I'm the communications director for WebDM. And you can get my own Twitter at mwrote on Twitter. Tweeting. Twitter. I'm very tired and confused.
Oh, it's all right. I'm literally about to pop like a balloon because I have to pee so bad. So it's quite all right.
Like a scrat.
Yes, like a scrat. Yellow mist everywhere. Grant!
Hey!
What's up, man?
Yeah, I mentioned it in the backstage chat. This might be my favorite campaign setting right now. It kind of has this Castle Greyhawk feel, where it's just the deeper you go, the more secrets you uncover, and the more worlds it unlocks. It has it just has a lot of really cool, fun, evocative things going on. And I'm going to talk all about it with everyone at the Monty Cook Games party here on Thursday at Gen Con. For those of you that want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at WisePapaGrant. If you are attending Gen Con, I'm all over the place, but primarily you can find me at 2C Gaming's TPK tournament event. I'll be running 5 sessions, and just so everyone knows, it is quite brutal. I play tested it on Sunday and died with the rest of the party in dramatic fashion at the very end. I'm also on a panel about how to succeed in business thanks to skills you develop in tabletop role-playing games, and I will offer a lot of insight also on sort of the historical basis of role-playing games and how they come out of all these different disciplines all over the world and have been used in some pretty high-level endeavors. You can find me on Twitter at WisePapaGrant. Absolutely love Breath of the Fall. Back to you, Crew.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and I'm Pruitt, one half of WebDM. We have our videos on Wednesdays. I believe we're doing Furbolgs tomorrow, I think. So check that out because that's fun. They're weird. Everybody likes weird things. But yeah, check us out here on Thursday for Jim's game. It's the Land Between Two Rivers side quest. Whatever, Tales from the Scintillating Sea or whatever. And of course, please come back next Tuesday where we will figure out what happens with this weird liquid metal and this crazy cyborg that was found in a stasis chamber. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But until then, make sure you go to Tabletop Loot and check out them because they're our sponsor and we love them. WebDM15 is the code for that. And of course, the art here provided on the overlay was done by Alexa Bonner. A good friend of the show. She does all the art for Starward Bound. So check her out. I believe you shared her Twitter info. And yeah, so everybody, I hope you have an amazing week of gaming. And as we always say, may the dice ever roll in your favor.